Coming up on KTVH News at 5, we'll hear from both pro-life and pro-choice advocates on the anti-abortion legislation that passed the State House of Representatives on Monday. Plus, Shodair Children's Hospital is moving forward with their new facility thanks to a big donation.
From Montana's news leader, this is MTN News at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the News at 5. I'm Andy Curtis, and thanks for joining us. Along party lines, Republicans in the Montana House advanced 4 bills restricting or further regulating abortions here in the state. The 4 bills include barring abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy, restricting the distribution of abortion-inducing drugs, a bill saying a woman seeking an abortion must be given a chance to see an ultrasound and listen to the heartbeat of the fetus, and a referendum that would be put before voters in 2022 that says any fetus, quote, born alive, including during an abortion, is a legal person. The bills face one more vote in the House before heading to the Montana Senate. And both pro-life and pro-choice advocates weighed in on the abortion and anti-abortion legislation that passed the State House of Representatives earlier today. Lawmakers in the House advanced the legislation on the same day the annual March for Life rally was being held. The rally seeks to end the practice of abortion. Earlier on Monday, pro-life demonstrators gathered at the state capitol, and another digital rally was held due to COVID restrictions. Pro-life groups praised the legislation and are optimistic about furthering more pro-life issues after 16 years of Democratic governors.
We have larger Republican majorities in both the House and Senate than we've had in the past. Plus, we now have a governor that says he is pro-life as well, Governor Gianforte. So we're now hopeful that we're going to have a different outcome than we've had the last 16 years.
These bills represent the worst kind of government overreach, placing the government between patients and the medical care they deserve, criminalizing medical professionals, and attempting to scare and intimidate patients with outrageous misinformation.
The Montana Reproductive Rights Coalition have said if the legislation were to become law, it would most likely be challenged in court, believing they are unconstitutional. They also noted that similar abortion legislation in other states has been struck down in federal court. And now with a look at our weather, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
Hey, good afternoon, Andy. Good afternoon, everybody. You know, I said I would be wearing costumes until I got rid of that silly little scooter, and there is certainly not a scooter underneath me right now here. Taking a live look out at Monarch. A pretty nice weekend here across a lot of the state, and pretty chilly as well. Take a look at some of these morning lows. Elk Park, that's on your way down towards the Butte America area, 11 below zero. Newland Creek in the Little Belts, 8 below zero. There's Fort Belknap at 1 below zero. A lot of northeast Montana, 5 or 10 degrees below zero. Great Falls at 5 above. And out in the Helena Valley, 6 degrees above zero this morning. I know it's January. Those numbers a little colder than normal, though. It's almost like the state caught a cold. They'll let you know how long it will stick around here for. Some chilly temperatures, some chilly wind chill values out there as well, although the wind not very strong. Where's the snow? Well, the snowbirds are getting the snow, well to the south. I'll let you know if we may see some flakes towards the beginning of February. That and more coming up in the full forecast.
Well, active cases of COVID-19 and current hospitalizations from the virus here in Montana continue to decline week over week. As of today, there are about 4,200 active cases and fewer than 130 people hospitalized with COVID-19. That's as of right now. A combination of state and local data showed that 1,165 deaths from the virus did occur so far. Now, MTN uses a combination of state and local data to provide you with the most up-to-date numbers regarding the virus across our state, and because of that, it's important to remember that our numbers may differ from the state's. And in addition to the COVID-19 case dashboard, Governor Greg Gianforte announced the launch of the COVID-19 vaccine dashboard today. The new tab on the existing Montana COVID website includes vaccine information, including the number of vaccine doses already administered and the number of Montanans fully immunized. As of today, more than 77,000 vaccine doses have been administered across the state, with over 14,000 people having received both doses or are fully immunized. In Lewis and Clark County, more than 5,500 doses have been administered, with 874 people fully immunized. And in Cascade County, nearly 5,900 shots have been given out, with just under 1,100 people fully immunized. Statewide numbers are expected to be updated daily, with county numbers updated every Monday. And the Blackfeet Reservation will begin reopening later this week. The stay-at-home order in place since last September will expire at 11:59 Friday night, and restricted openings will be in effect. Churches and ceremonies can operate at 25% capacity. Campgrounds and other public areas can reopen at the discretion of the tribe's business council. Masks will still be required in all public places, and there will be a curfew from 11 p.m. until 6 a.m. For more information about the restricted opening, check out the link in this story up on our website. And we're learning more tonight about a possible threat to young girls in Teton County. According to school officials in the county, someone is using Snapchat to get young girls to send them compromising pictures. Once the pictures are sent, the person says if more pictures aren't sent, the ones that have already been sent will be publicized. As we reported on Saturday, the Teton County Sheriff's Office is investigating and asking schools to hold assemblies to talk to students. The school districts in the county have held assemblies, so some are also working to hold community meetings for parents to ask questions and starting lessons to teach students about the dangers of social media and how to be safe online.
I just felt like there was a sense of urgency that we needed to do something for our students, and I'm aware that this goes on across the nation, and we've taken opportunities throughout the years to educate our students on what to watch for in social media, how to use it.
We reached out to the Sheriff's Office earlier today for comment, but did not get a response. And Shodair's Children's Hospital is making progress in their new facility and have recently received a donation to keep the project moving forward. MTN's Alexia Aguayo has the story.
Well, as you can see, the work going on right now, obviously there's a big giant hole. You'll see here shortly in the next few months actual structure and beams going up. So it's progressing, and I think we are pretty darn close to schedule.
This giant hole is Shodair's $62 million campus initiative, which features a new state-of-the-art hospital building, replacing the majority of the existing facility. Shodair received a $52 million bond last fall for the project and now received a $100,000 donation from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana. Shodair's CEO is thankful for the donation and is excited to expand the Children's Hospital.
You know, the whole goal is to meet our mission and to expand beds, but to also allow for flexibility and safety for the kids we take care of.
Shodair says the new hospital features 82 new single-patient rooms, a pool, recreational space, and safe, flexible spaces, including an ambulance admission area. 2/3 of the existing facility will be demolished to be repurposed for things such as additional parking. The remaining part will be used to redeploy administration services.
This is about, taking care of kids in Montana, which is what Shodair has been for 125 years. And it also represents the staff that work here. I mean, they really deserve to have the best in taking care of these kids. So it's a proud moment, more so for the frontline workers at Shodair and for the kids of Montana.
The new facility is on track to be completed by December next year in 2022. Now, there is a planned celebration for the initiative this year in May. In Helena, I'm Alexi Aguayo, MTN News.
Shodair was also able to save and replant 18 trees around the construction. And when we come back, Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz will have a complete check on your forecast. And later, with the one article of impeachment being sent to the Senate, we'll take a look at why this impeachment trial may look a little different than former President Donald Trump's previous impeachment trial.
There starts now with Chief Meteorologist Curtis Grevenitz.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Happy Monday to you all. Taking a live look at Great Falls right now. 15 degrees. A bit on the chilly side. Not record cold, record low of 31 below back in 1957. And the wind isn't too strong, but it feels like 5 when you factor in that light northeast wind. How about the daylight? Think just about a month ago it was completely dark at this time in Helena. 28 degrees right now, and that wind is calm. A little colder the farther north and east you go here in the state, only 10 in Glasgow, but some of that cold Canadian air pushed its way across the state here this weekend. Not with very strong wind, although 18 in Havre mile per hour wind. That's a pretty strong 14 mile per hour wind in Lewistown. A lot of this wind coming in from the east, and it's continuing to push some of that colder air into the state here. So we've got another cold night and another chilly couple of days as far as January goes. The snowbirds getting the snow. How many people do you know that go and they spend the winters down Southern California or into Arizona, New Mexico, Southern Utah, St. George picking up some snow around Phoenix, Scottsdale we had a little snow near Tucson as well, and a little more than a little snow moving through the central part of the country as well. Here is what will happen. Will Montana get any snow? Well, not a lot, at least not where we live. There you can see another big storm moving into Washington and Oregon as we get into tomorrow. Tomorrow, a very quiet day, very similar to the conditions that we saw out there today. Heading into Wednesday, all right, a little snow looks like it's moving in. Likely down around Monida Pass, maybe the Rocky Mountain front gets a little snow on Wednesday, but it misses most of Montana. Still some snow off to our west, down to our south for later Wednesday and Thursday. Now, Friday later in the day, we may have a little snow coming through Friday night into Saturday. A chance of at least a few flakes in the lower elevations, but probably will not accumulate down in the lower elevations. If it does, an inch at best. Sunday, looking pretty sunny here with some snow up there around Whitefish and Kalispell. But here we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. A little better chance at seeing some accumulating snow. So snow continues to pile up to our west, to our south, to our north, to our east. Look how a lot of the central part of Montana, the lower elevations out of the mountains, not seeing much, if any, accumulation. But by the time we get into maybe, again, Tuesday and Wednesday, this may fill in here just a little bit. Here's the forecast for tonight. Another chilly night, lows into the single digits, above and below zero. Wind out of the northeast, 10-15 miles per hour, and wind chill values could be down around 10, even 15 degrees below zero. Certainly into the little belts will be down below zero, and maybe even some of the normally colder places in the higher terrain around Helena could be down below zero. Here's the forecast for your Tuesday. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 20s here for most locations. All right, we've got some teens and even single digits up there around Opine, but it is the end of January here, so it should be cold. But a lot of these numbers are just a little bit below average. High temperatures in the 20s to near 30 right around Helena. So here's the 7-day forecast, and we've got high temperatures in the 20s and the 30s throughout the next 7 days, actually getting into the weekend up near 40 degrees and maybe a few snow showers Friday and Saturday. And for Great Falls, 20s tomorrow, but a little warmer air working in for Wednesday through the weekend. Chance for some flakes Friday night into Saturday. Better chance for accumulating snow a little over a week away.
While President Joe Biden begins his first full week in the White House, the nation is set to turn their attention to his predecessor as the article of impeachment against former President Trump will be sent to the Senate today. So how would this trial be different? Our Joe St. George is in Washington and explains.
Gone but not forgotten. Nearly 2 weeks after being impeached in the House, the article of impeachment alleging former President Trump engaged in insurrection contributing to the Capitol riots is expected to be sent to the Senate today, triggering the start of his trial. So what will be the differences between his last impeachment trial and this one?
Well, for one, he will be a former president, and the United States Senate has never conducted an impeachment trial for a former president, which is allowing for some flexibility and changes to the rules.
There is the possibility Chief Justice John Roberts may not preside. Roberts, after all, has a day job, and an impeachment trial is time-consuming. If this was a current president's trial, he would have no choice. But because Trump is out of office, Chief Roberts could hand the duties to Vice President Kamala Harris, who is president of the Senate, or Senator Patrick Leahy, who is the longest-serving Democratic senator. Big change number 2, this impeachment trial may not last as long. Here is the length of recent presidential impeachment trials. President Trump's 2020 trial lasted 21 days. President Clinton's 1999 trial lasted 37 days. But again, because former President Trump is not in office, things may be sped up a bit. After all, it only took 1 week after the Capitol riots for the House to impeach former President Trump. Another change, there's a chance the Senate listens to the new president, who doesn't want senators to devote their entire day to impeachment, like the last time.
You go half day on dealing with the impeachment and half day getting my people nominated and confirmed.
One thing we do know, the trial will not begin right away. Democrats in the Senate will wait until the week of February 8th to begin. Butch Bowers, a South Carolina attorney, will defend the former president, at stake whether or not Donald Trump can ever run for office again. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Coming up next on the News at 5, it's National News Literacy Week. What that is and what educators are doing to help kids develop the skills to battle misinformation.
News leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everyone. History, science, and English are subjects students are expected to learn. But as we mark News Literacy Week, some educators feel there's another skill kids need now more than ever: digital literacy. Amanda Brandeis looks at an effort underway to bring this subject to classrooms nationwide.
For younger generations, navigating the digital world is like riding a bike.
Can operate digital devices with fluency, and they can upload an iMovie at the same time that they're texting you.
But how well can they vet the information on their screen?
The one word we used to summarize it was bleak.
Sam Weinberg and his team at Stanford University started asking this question in 2014, testing thousands of students from middle school to college.
What our study showed was a seemingly bottomless ability of young people to believe what their eyes see on the screen.
Over 80% of middle school students couldn't tell the difference between an ad or a news story. Rather than verifying this Russian-made video on Facebook, 52% of students believed it showed strong evidence of voter fraud in the 2016 election.
Right along with the pandemic, we are deeply engaged in fighting an infodemic.
His team created the Civic Online Reasoning, or core curriculum. By deploying strategies used by fact checkers at leading news outlets, they created lessons for teachers.
Fact checkers don't just examine one source. They look at multiple sources.
His lessons are open to any educator for free, helping to teach students skills like how to vet social media claims.
Fake Facebook pages for made-up grassroots communities that then had real offline rallies.
Weinberg says it's helping move the needle. In one study, core curriculum students scored an average 2 points higher on an evaluation of online sources, compared to just over half a point in a control group.
I said, we need this in nutrition. There is so much disinformation in nutrition, and it is so attractive.
Professor Priscilla Connors embedded the curriculum in her college nutrition class.
How do I address the fact that they're defaulting to influencers, they're defaulting to social media sites?
Through 1-hour lessons each week, students began to think more critically.
Any individual or group can buy a .org domain without passing a character test or proving they're working for social betterment.
I think it fits right in there with everybody should learn how to drive a car before they get their driver's license. And where do we do most of our traveling right now? Online.
Teachers can integrate the free lessons into classes like history and biology.
What age should we start talking about this type of thing with our students? And my response is, as soon as they have a smartphone in their back pocket.
Weinberg believes these lessons can help build immunity to misinformation and disinformation, skills needed to fight a growing infodemic. I'm Amanda Brandeis reporting.
Now, this week is News Literacy Week, a whole week dedicated to helping our viewers and readers spot fake news stories, stop people from sharing misinformation, and learn how to tell the difference when so much of it looks real. And when we come back, we will finish things up here on the News at 5.
When we welcome our West Coast viewers, the wide disconnect between vaccine doses on hand and those actually being used, and why vaccination appointments are being canceled in some places. Also, an NBC News investigation into the origins of COVID, the new questions being asked when we see you on Nightly News.
News leader. You're watching MTN News at 5.
Welcome back, everybody. Meet Major and Champ, the new first pets. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden recently welcomed the German Shepherds to their new residence. The first family wanted to get settled before bringing the dogs down to Washington from Delaware. Now Champ, he's enjoying his new dog bed by the fireplace, and Major loved running around on the south lawn. Major is the first rescue dog to live in the White House. He was adopted by the Bidens in 2018 after the couple fostered him from the Delaware Humane Society. Well, thank you for making us a part of your evening. Remember, you can catch us back here tonight at 6 and always online at ktvh.com. NBC Nightly News is next.